All right, so I've got something cool that I want to share with you guys today. Something that has happened in the last week. This last few months have led up to this last week where we actually were in the process of developing products or a new product, one singular product, for that matter, on one of our brands. It's an e-commerce based brand. I'm pretty sure most of you would know who by now. What struck me this last few, there's 2 points that I want to discuss. One point is customer service and how to deal with suppliers, and the second point is the development of new products and the R&D side of it and how to go about it in a better way, especially if you're in my circumstance where you've decided to create a brand like I have and you are creating a very white label brand. So it's going to be something along the lines of Nike, if you want an example, for those who don't know what white label means. So recently, like I said, a few weeks ago or a few months ago, I actually contacted the guys that I actually got referred to regarding manufacturing for a product idea that we had. It's been a long time coming since I was able to take the idea I had and the concept I developed into an actual prototype, and then from the prototype to actually creating the sample and the tech packs and all that stuff that come with it. So for those already who are already saying, how can I say that the business is, supporting local and making things local? I'm probably going to China or whatever crap might come from this. I'm actually manufacturing this in a local sense. It's literally being manufactured in South Africa by a local manufacturer. They specialize obviously in textiles, and the brand that we focused on is actually in the clothing space at this moment. And so yes, coming back to my points, I said I want to touch on customer service and dealing with your suppliers, and then second of all, the R&D and product development. So number one is obviously the customer service side. I have realized that dealing with local, and this is going to sound bad to many of you, and you're probably going to leave me some lovely comments about it. But the problem I have with local, and especially here in South Africa, is that everything seems to work. If you understand what I mean, it works. But we've got a problem here, and that's all businesses. Most or majority, let me just say that, most South African businesses have a problem of dealing with their customers. And I don't know if they even know. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business, but the problem I've seen dealing with suppliers in my own company is the fact that everything that you ask them to do or create or make or even quote, it all comes across as if they're doing you this massive favor. There's no going the extra mile. I'm the customer, you're my supplier. You kind of want to keep me as a customer. Please go the extra mile for me when I ask certain things. There is really not this in South Africa. So if you don't currently run or do business or are looking to do business in South Africa, just know that that's one thing that seems to happen. A lot of the businesses and suppliers that we have to deal with they're very delayed, quite laid back. They make choices on your behalf sometimes when you haven't given full instructions. So they'll just assume things according to their knowledge base and how they think something's supposed to be, even though it's your product and your idea and your concept. And like I said in the beginning, a lot of it comes down as you doing them a favor by being a customer. It's not the right way to run your business or your customer service side of things, because you never make the customer feel unique and important. I just thought this is something that I have to share because of how much I've had to deal with it recently, and it's really annoying. I've got to really suck ass when it comes to suppliers just to get something done, is another point. And like I said, it just seems like always having to be the one who's not favored, if that makes sense. And then they treat you as if you the client who last wasted their time. You get categorized in this box where the people are like, please, they talk about their old customers, which is bad. They shouldn't be doing this. But they talk about old customers and be like, yeah, but he wasted my time, and then sort of categorize you in that box with them. Normally it works like if you got a new customer, that customer gets full out attention, and then it starts dying down a little bit as you go down the customer journey, but it never disappears. You're still always in that customer's life in some way, whether that be sort of active or passive because you've got automations, or you actively seeking them and chatting to them in some way. But it never dies. It never dies. The customer journey never dies, because you always want customers to come back and refer. Now, if I look at my situation with regards to having to deal with this product launch, I've actually got the product laying here in front of me. It's good. The product is good quality. It's made well. The craftsmanship is good. The printing on the actual design and stuff like that is very good. The whole thing is good. I can't handle bad customer service. Or let me rephrase that and say customer service where it makes me feel like I'm doing you a favor by giving you my money so you can make a product for me and you treat me like the other ones that messed you around. To me, that's very irritating and frustrating. And in actual fact, if you think about it, most businesses today, and especially in South Africa, have purposely made everything in-house in their companies. So whatever they needed to manufacture by suppliers or produced by certain other people or third-party businesses, they've actually had to bring it in-house because they couldn't deal with this shit. And it's so true. It's what's happening. And I know for a fact that if I want to get away from this, if I want to mitigate all of these frustrations and stresses with dealing with suppliers, I'd have to bring it in-house. But capital intensivity about that is next level. It's next level. If I have to bring a manufacturing house right now to us, or the capital expenditure to just do that is insane for this business specific. And it's currently still going through a process of market fit, which is kind of what I expected. But at this point in time in the business's life, it shouldn't actually go down that road of sort of acquiring such big liabilities and assets because of the fact that it's still market fitting itself. It can't sustain yet. But point number 2, we're going to go into that shortly about the production and R&D. All I want to say, close off the first section, is customer service is key. If you don't have customer service, you don't have a fucking business. It's as simple as that. If you don't have a business, you're going to just go back to your day job. And if you don't treat your customers well, if you don't have a long lifetime journey with them and you treat them as if they're freaking family almost, you're going to lose your business too because they're going to bring their stuff in-house and then they're going to start building things to create the stuff in-house with themselves, cut costs, minimize the people interaction and make higher profits. I mean, it makes sense in a business sense to do that. It's just capital intensive to lay out. But I mean, with all the frustrations having to deal with certain suppliers, sometimes it does make sense to do that financially. On the second point, R&D and stuff, I can say for a matter of fact, this is the first product that this brand, this e-commerce business that I've built, it's the first time it's manufacturing something from scratch, the bare bones. Like it comes off of the roll of cotton or material and it gets made. That's the very first time we're doing this. The previous times, all we did is source very high quality products that are already made and we just branded them and tag them like we needed according to the designs. But this is the very first one that is manufactured and people seem to misunderstand, especially the public. They don't seem to know what the difference is between the manufacturing process and just going and getting a third party's blank garments. It's very different. Well, let me just say this. That product is basically finished. You've just got 2 or 3 steps left and then it's done and then it can go to the market, be sold. Whereas the manufacturing route, you've got to freaking start the thing from scratch. You've got to give them something called a tech pack if you're in the clothing game. A tech pack is all about the technical details around a freaking piece of clothing of how that garment is actually supposed to be made. And that's the first one to be made. That doesn't mean that the first time it's going to go through the production line and be perfectly 100%. Then you've got the problem of that tech pack being revised multiple times and the sample itself being revised many times over if it's not to your liking or exactly what you need or what you want to bring to market is what I should have said. When it comes to dealing with this, we focus a lot on what currently sells. So when it comes to R&D, we look at a lot of the trends in South Africa and what is currently selling and what is becoming popular, and then focus our designs for this company on a lot of the culture of South Africa. A lot of it is designed around the culture and what our lingo is and who says what and how you deal with friends and family and the history of this country. A lot of it gets designed around that type of aspect. We will then curate a design. Once the design is created, it goes in with the tech pack, because when you manufacture, the people in the manufacturing company can actually do the entire process for you from start to end. And that's exactly what we've done with this product. Whereas coming back to blank garments, if you go to a third-party company, the blank garments have multiple steps because of the fact that not one person does everything. So you have to find someone to do the printing or the embroidery or heat vinyl pressing. And then you have to find someone to do sewing if you're doing extra labels. And then you have to find someone to do packaging if you're not doing packaging yourself. And the list just keeps going on and on and on. And I mean, we've been running like that for the last 2+ years. Now going on into our 3rd year, come December, we will be focusing just on the singular product that we've developed or manufactured. This product, I believe, can be a product that will separate us from everyone, because it isn't something like this in South Africa. Well, that I've seen. Maybe someone else has seen it and you can tell me that you've seen it somewhere. But I haven't seen it. And I don't think any of the major brands and companies that we have in this country actually have done something like this. So we found a gap in the market, so I believe. Whether this gap is going to take us to the next level and allow us to rise this company is another question. And that can only be dealt with once it's been thrown into the marketplace, and let's see what happens with this product. There's only certain variables you can tweak, but once those variables are tweaked, you only have a limited amount. And once they're tweaked, the market has to make the decisions from there on. I just wanted to close off in this and say sorry about my rant. All right. This is a exciting yet irritating type of emotion in this video, because I'm excited I got the product. It's finally here. Problem is, regarding the product, the problem is that it is too late already. They took too long to manufacture the thing quick enough. They didn't stick to their initial deadlines that they proposed. They sold me the idea on having it in 2-week time period, and it was, let me say, more around 6 weeks just for the sample. And I sent my concerns in regarding the lead period, because to me it's like, you told me this and now you're giving me this, and then what's going to happen when production comes around? So that's a whole different thing on its own. Nevertheless, the sample is here. Problem is, it's too late. We're not going to make it for Black Friday. We're going to try and push for Christmas and into the new winter for South Africa next year. Depending on how things run, we might just leave everything until next year, winter, or just before winter, so we can capitalize on that. Otherwise, I really hope that in this rant of a video that you got something out of it. If you are looking to do business in South Africa, just understand what I said in the beginning. It's going to be tricky. You can get around it. There are ways. It's not going to be a walk in the park to deal with some of the people here in this country. I'm a South African. I'm born here. I've been raised here. I've started my companies here. And it's a serious issue. It's a real issue. And I think if this can be fixed in our country, that everyone goes the extra mile for their company and their customer, their companies will flourish, first of all. Second of all, there wouldn't be so many small businesses. There will be a lot more medium and large cap enterprises. And there might be enterprises that are so large that will be able to scale across waters instead of just being local. And that's our plan for one day in the future, is that we will be able to scale this brand so big that it will not only be needed or be used or bought in South Africa, it will be bought in other countries, and we'll be able to open warehouses there or manufacturing spots there to supply the rest of the world and ex-South Africans, and hone in on other countries' cultures. I mean, this brand is based on culture behind countries. So right now, because it's in South Africa, we base it on the South African cultures and heritages. And then what we do when we go to other countries, we'll probably have to focus on their cultures and heritage, which will be brilliant. I actually look forward to doing something like that at such a scale. But it's still far in the future. We hope that it will happen. I dream that it will happen. It's my vision for the company. But whether it will happen is another question. We just got to keep pushing every day. So, closing the video, I spoke a lot about suppliers in this country, what you need to look out for, especially if you're looking to start your own company, brand, clothing brand, product, one product-based brand, or you're making freaking kettle. Just remember what I've just said about suppliers. And then I spoke a lot about the R&D side and how you go around about doing that and what it all entails, to explicitly tell your suppliers what they need to do around the manufacturing of the product. And we didn't dive too deep into it, I know. If you want me to dive deeper into it, I can if you want. But it's just be extremely clear about what you want and try and explain to them very clearly that no one has a misunderstanding, that there's no two options about it. There's only your option and the one you've discussed, and put it in a third grader language so that no one has to deal with, these words that they probably don't understand. Okay, that's all. I really hope you liked this video. I'll leave the company's link in the description so that you can check out what the product will be in the near coming weeks. Subscribe to the channel if you like business and investing stuff. I talk a lot about that from my experience. I don't regurgitate bullshit. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until the next one, see you.